This NorthJerseySports.com multimedia presentation is brought to you by Classic Mortgage. Need financing for a new home? Want to refinance the one you already have? Classic Mortgage has you covered. Specializing in all types of mortgages, FHA, Veterans Administration, new construction, traditional, and more, Classic Mortgage has the keys. Talk to one of our home finance experts today. Call us 201-906-7457 or visit our office at 25 East Spring Valley Avenue in Maywood. Open the door to your new place with Classic Mortgage, your hometown lender. Back on the Track Show, NorthJerseySports.com's original multimedia series talking all things track and field throughout North Jersey. This is Season 2, Episode 7, and we are down to the wire as we tape here one night before the State Meet of Champions is to take place. I am Corey Doviak, being joined by I'm going to say it now, my longtime partner here on the Track Show. He is Northern Valley Old Tappan assistant coach Brandon Gregory. Brand, what's going on?
Good evening, Corey. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, and we got some good stuff for the listening audience here tonight, as Brendan Kinney, the head coach of the Northern Valley Demarest girls track and field team, will join us here tonight. He's got 6 athletes going down to the State Meet of Champions. But before we bring him on, is everything going to be all right between you two? I mean, a Demarest guy, Old Tappan guy?
Yeah, Brendan and I are really good friends. You know, I work up at Demarest High School present date and time, and we get a chance to see each other each morning when I come into school, and we speak and have a good time, and he's a great coach, and they have a great program over at Demarest, Corey.
Yes, they're doing great things. We will talk about it with him shortly. And, Brandon, we will also be joined by Teaneck junior sprinter Aminah Sarraga. Be interesting to get her thoughts as well a couple hours before heading down to South Plainfield for the State Meet of Champions. But before we get there, let's talk about some other things here. Last weekend, the group meets were held across the state of New Jersey, and we had some athletes, especially ones that have been on the show this past year in the previous 6 episodes, have done some pretty great things, as well as your Northern Valley Old Tappan boys track and field team.
Yes, the group meets, we were at South Plainfield, which held the Group 3, Parochial A, and Group 2 schools, and the Group 1s, the Group 4s, and non-public B were down in Egg Harbor. And,
right.
And now that you mentioned the guests that we've had on, like beginning of the season, we had on Mark Rianis, obviously, from Old Tappan High School. He won 2 group championships this past weekend. He won the 1600 and the 800. He's going to close out his high school career at Old Tappan as the greatest runner that we've ever had. He has 7 Group 3 championships, 6 individually, 3 indoor, 3 outdoor, and one relay indoor.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is definitely crazy. That doubles my son's. My son has 2 relays and 1 individual. So that lets you know. And Brandon was a very good runner, one of the best runners ever come out that school. Then I can talk about Jarius Paul. He won from Marwa. He won the triple jump. So he's a group champ. Then we can talk about Lauren Brzezowski from Rampo, who we had on last week. Rampo ended up scoring 40 points. She scored 19 of the 40 points. She took 3/3 in her individual races. 100.
3 seconds, right?
No, 3 seconds in 100, 200, and 400. And sorry, that's 25 points. She scored 25 of the 40 points that Ramapo scored, and they took 4th in a 4x4. And then we can talk about Jillian D'Ascentio that we had on from Hasbrook Heights. She won the Group 1 400 hurdles. And then the Daly boys, obviously, what they've done at Riverdale winning the Group 3 championship. So overall, Corey, with the guests that we have, the ones that I did mention, the success has been very high this year. And obviously the kids that we've gotten are high-quality kids.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been a fun season. I've learned a lot about track and field. Just talking to some of the people that we talked to, including Ed Church last week. I went back and listened to that show just to hear, to learn from it. And that was a really interesting interview that we did with Ed Church last week. Of course, he didn't win anything at the group meets this past weekend. But now heading down to the State Meet of Champions, who's Old Tappan bringing with him?
Well, we obviously have, like I said, Mark Rianis. he's going to run either the 800 or the 1600. We have our 4x4 team, which won the Group 3 championship. We ran 3:17.4, which is a I would like to say it's number 6 right now, all time in Bergen County history. They actually knocked down our school record, which was 3:17.7. They ran 3:17.4, so they bumped our boys down off that board. And they ran 3:17.4, which is number 6 all time in Bergen County. We're bringing them down. We're going to bring down our 4x8. What else? Joe Jordan's coming down to run the hurdles. He's going to run the 400 hurdles and the 110 hurdles. So we have up to, I would like to say, 12 boys coming on down tomorrow to run. So, looking forward to some potential individual success along with some team success with our relays. And our 4x1, which ran 42.64, 42.68, which is second only to our school record of 42.64, which also places them in the top 10 all-time in Bergen County history, Corey.
Brent, sounds like you did your homework. I mean, you got things written down over there. It's rolling off your tongue tonight. I mean, you're on fire here. I think you see the finish line literally and figuratively of this track and field season. Sounds like you're pretty pumped up for the trip to South Plainfield.
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to hopefully, potentially, everyone from North Jersey that's competing doing a great job. It's tough going against the Central Jersey and South Jersey teams. They normally put out great athletes in all the specific events from the throws to the running events and to the jumps. So, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And with us particularly performing well, hopefully we can bring home some brass also again tomorrow.
Absolutely. A couple other, before we get to Coach Kinney here in a second, just a couple other things that stood out to me. Andrew Tomino from Riverdale won the shot put in Group 3 with a throw of 58 feet 10.5, which was a pretty good toss. On the girls' side, from Northern Highlands, Catherine Pagano won the 1600. And in the pole vault, there were 2 11.6 vaulters from North Jersey, Christina Langen of Wayne Hills and Catherine Rosalski of Queen of Peace. So, I was just thumbing through. There's some more that I missed, but those ones stuck out to me. And, again, there is talent all over North Jersey on the track and field side.
Yeah, most definitely. I may try to even, try to get Catherine on to close out the show for next week, because she's leaving. She's graduating this year from Northern Highlands as probably one of the most decorated runners to ever come out of Bergen County. And I think that this will be a good way to put closure to her senior year, something that's rightly deserved, because she's been a great runner and a great ambassador for the sport. So I'm going to try my hardest to get her on. I'm going to talk to her head coach, Tom Viscardi, when I see him tomorrow, to see if we can get her to close out the show.
Brandon, nothing surprises me. I mean, whether you have to strong arm them, sweet talk them, well, I don't know what your methods are, but usually you wind up getting us a great group of guests, as you have done again tonight, as we welcome in on the Moe's Southwest Grill Hotline, Teaneck Jr., Aminah Sarraga. Aminah, how'd I do with your last name?
That was perfect. All
right. Well, and you're having a season to match here. Unbelievable things headed down to the state meet of champions coming up on Wednesday. So we're taping this the night before. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm sort of nervous, but it's good nerves. It's not any, I'm scared that I'm not going to do my best, because I've been training and I've been working for so long and so hard for this, and I'm really eager to see my competition and see how it turns out.
Yeah, you got some nervous energy, which you can use to run faster. Did you go down to the state meet of champs last year?
Yeah, I ran the 200.
Okay, so how about the experience of having been there? Is that going to help you out?
Yeah, and especially going when I was a sophomore too. It's really good for me now to go as a junior and be able to experience it again.
Now, Brandon, you have a long and storied history here with Aminah, as I understand in the pre-show briefing that you were the first coach ever to coach Aminah Sarraga on a track. So this has to be gratifying for you, too.
Yes.
She's all grown up and headed to the state meet of champs for the second straight year.
Yes, it is. It's good to see. I had Aminah when she was 7 years old, and she ran the 400 for me. So Aminah is a very experienced runner. So she's traveled, she's run nationally, she's traveled across the country, and has run on a high level. And to see her still enjoying the running aspect of this is very fulfilling, like you said, Corey. You know, look, I will encourage her through the whole race. And if Aminah just does some of the things that I've mentioned to her in the past, being aggressive, running the first 200 and putting herself in a place to be successful, I think she can come home with a medal this tomorrow, Corey.
Yes, Aminah, and what are some of those things? I mean, other than yelling really loud, what have you taken from Coach Gregory? I like to get the background information on my co-host here. I mean, just, you know, I know whatever he has said to you, he has said it in a boisterous tone. But, you know, how about some of the tips that he's given you that have helped you out?
I mean, Coach Brandon, like you said, he was my first coach, so he helped me a lot. He pretty much, taught me how to run a 400. He always told me, the one thing I remember, he always told me how to run the curve. To this day, that's the person who I give, the most credit to, who told me how to run that curve, because he drained that into my head, run the curve and run the backstretch. Even though sometimes I don't run the backstretch as well as I know he wants me to, but as the curve, I think that's where a lot of people, notice I catch people on the last 200 curve going into the last straightaway. I know a lot of people know that's my running technique. I kind of catch people right there, and he pretty much taught me how to do that.
Yeah, Brand. Nobody's ever perfect, right, Brand? There's always room for improvement.
No, and that's the beauty of this event, Corey, because running the 400, she's done it so many times, since she was 7. I guess Aminah probably has lost count of the 400s that she's run. But the thing that has most impressed me during her high school career, Aminah, and I would like to ask you, is as far as when you started to run and your long-term growth and development, has track been as enjoyable as it appears to be when you're out on when you're doing the various events? Do you still enjoy running as much as it appears to be?
Yes, no, I love running. I mean, sometimes I have my days where I just want to quit and I'm just I'm done with this. I don't want to track anymore. I can't take it. But there's no other feeling being out there going to Penn and the Nationals and running and having all those people watch you. It's crazy.
So what are you hoping for here? As you mentioned, I think you're seated 7th in the 400 meters heading into the final meet of the season.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for?
Honestly, I'm just hoping to do my best and run the best I can. I'm trying to go into it realistically. I know I have a lot of competition, and I know me being one of the youngest, probably in the first heat, it's a really young heat actually. It's a lot of sophomores and juniors, and maybe 1 or 2 seniors. So I'm going in just to do my best. I just want to come back with a medal. I know I might not get first, I might not get second, or what the case is, but I just want to run the best time and just have a great time out there.
Yeah. Is track and field something you want to pursue in college? Have you heard from people, what's going on with that?
Yeah, most definitely I want to do track in college. I love track, and I want to totally go as far as I can with it, no matter what I love running.
How about running for the Teaneck program, which is the originator of track and field kind of in North Jersey? So many great athletes have come before you there. Do you ever think about that aspect of it, of being the next in line, or is that even too much to think about? You just got to worry about running that curve.
No, yeah. No, I know. Teaneck track is great. I know I have big shoes to fill. I know a lot of the girls from past years running before me and before I was even probably born or any of that, were running crazy times. I know I have a lot to put on my back, but, I handle it. I do my best that I can, and I think people are starting to realize now. I'm trying to come up and stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brand.
Aminah, going into this meet tomorrow, and with your running from the beginning of this year, including indoor to where you're at going into the meet tomorrow, this outdoor state meet of champions, where do you feel that your biggest improvement has gone from early this winter to early June?
I think my biggest improvement is just wanting it more. And indoor was kind of a glimpse of how I wanted to be in outdoor. I knew I needed to be in a certain spot in indoor to make it, to where I need to be. But I think that I just really honestly just wanted more. I'm just really starting to get to a point where I'm really competitive. And like I told Paul Schwartz the other day when he interviewed me that I like the 400, like I take it very, very personal. Like that's one of my best races that I've started to notice that I'm really actually good at. I used to be kind of like low on myself with the 400. Like I didn't think I was going to be that strong of a runner. But now that I'm seeing my potential, like I really just like kind of push myself.
You got me all pumped up over here. I'm listening to you. I feel like going to run laps around my house listening.
Yeah.
All right, last one before we let you out of here. The State Meet of Champions comes up on Wednesday. Thursday comes. When do you get back on the track? What's the summer look like? You got a lot of, you've made a name for yourself here in your junior year. Next year you're going to come back as one of the big guns. Senior year, a lot expected from you at Teaneck High School. So when does it start? You know what I mean? How long do you give yourself of a break, and then when do you start getting back after?
I mean, yeah, I have states tomorrow, and then my team are going to nationals for our relays, and hopefully I might do the 400 there. So, I mean, probably next week we start back up, and then over the summer I run on an AAU team, so we travel with that, and like I don't honestly stop running. Honestly, at all. In summer I do AAU, then in the fall I'm doing cross country, and then I have winter, and then spring, and then I'm out of here. On to college.
I was excited before. Now I'm tired listening to that schedule you got coming out in front of you.
But it never stops.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you've got a big opportunity in front of you tomorrow at the State Meet of Champions, and big opportunities coming after that for you. It's nice to hear a kid who seems to have her head on, screwed on correctly, and keeping your eye on the prize. It's inspiring. We wish you the best of luck, and congratulations on all you have accomplished so far, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Brandon, that's another one from your stable that has done well.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Aminah. Aminah knows that Coach Gregory has her best interests at heart, and I love her like she's my own daughter. So I'm very proud of the accomplishments that she's done to see her grow from the age of 7 to where she's at present day in time, Corey. It does make me feel really good, to see the kids still competing.
Yeah, and I'm sure she won't take it personally as you're screaming at her around the curve tomorrow as she runs the 400.
And if she did, she knows I don't care. So, which everybody knows already.
Nobody cares. Aminah Sarraga, junior sprinter there for Teaneck High School. Thanks for joining us here on the track show. It was nice to meet you tonight.
You too. Thank you.
All right, Brandon. Well, listen, this is very big of you to bring on this next guest here. On this edition of the track show here on NorthJerseySports.com, because, you're an old Tapan guy, and sometimes things can get rather heated. It is a shared district. There are sister schools. But you were magnanimous as we welcome in our guest this evening on the track show. He is Northern Valley Demarest girls track and field coach, Brandon Kinney. Coach, thanks for joining us here on the track show and setting aside partisan differences.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me.
And, Brand, what do you have to say here? I mean, letting them in, they must be doing something right over at Demarest for you to extend this invitation.
Well, there's a lot of good things going on over at Demarest. First things first, I work at Demarest, so I have to be politically correct with Brendan.
Oh, boy, you're really walking a tightrope.
So that's definitely a tightrope there. And then secondly, I've been wanting to have Brendan on for a couple of years. Me and him, we've become friends. We're arch rivals on the track, but we speak very highly of each other, and I've been wanting to have him on. Brendan just had a child within the past 2 weeks, so he's not sleeping at night right now, Corey. So he's joined the club, and we wish him well.
Yes, absolutely. So, Coach, I'll start it off here. Okay. I mean, what a season so far here. I mean, you got the State Meet of Champions left. I didn't even ask yet how many, if any, do you have going, because I'm not up on that.
Yeah, but, we have about 6 girls going down to that. So,
and that just shows in the success that you've had on the team side of it. Group 2, you finished 4th overall in the state. North 1, Group 2, state sectional champion. So, just talk a little bit about, did you exceed expectations? Did you live up to expectations? Is this what you were expecting? Just talk a little bit about the Norse women this year.
Yeah, well, coming into the season, I knew we were going to be strong. We had a really good senior class coming in. We have one of the best intermediate hurdlers in the state and 800-meter runners in the state, and Christina Welser. And I knew our field is generally always pretty strong with Nicolia Canaris and Sam Ferraro. And we pieced some things together during the season. I mean, anytime you can make a run at Riverdale in the county group meet and beat them. I think that they're, along with Old Japan, one of the top programs in the state. So I think, when we started matching up well against those teams earlier in the year, I kind of felt like we could make a run at it. We were also dropped down to Group 2 this year because our population numbers dropped. So we had a really small sophomore and freshman class this year. So it kind of dropped us. So our competition was a little bit different this year. And looking at how we matched up, we kind of predicted early on that we could make a run at it if everything kind of fell into place. So I'd say we, exceeded expectations. I think anytime you win the league, county group meet, and the state sectional title, you set yourself up pretty nicely. It's hard to complain about anything after the year that we've had. So,
except the fact that you're not getting any sleep, admit it.
No, I'm not. The state sectional meet was the toughest one because my wife actually gave birth a week before, and we were released from the hospital that Friday. So I literally got the baby up at home and raced over to the state sectional meet. So it was really hectic, but my wife's super supportive, and it was a really great experience. So
as a guy who's been through it myself, 18 more years and you're done. Don't worry.
And I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know if that's true with a daughter. I don't even know if that's true.
You're right. I got 2 of them myself. Hey, Brandon, did your son call you for money up from Massachusetts? So maybe it ain't over for even longer than that. You're right. So, all right. So you got 6 going down, you said, to the state meet of champions?
Yeah, we have 4 throwers. We have 2 shot, 2 disc. We have our pole vaulter and Christina Welser on the track. So we have 6 girls going down.
So is that a record at Demarest High School?
Yeah, honestly, going into the group meet, I thought as far as the group meet was concerned, I felt like we were one of the better teams in the state in that, and even our 4th place finish, I kind of felt we were a little bit better than the way that we finished. I think the group meet, the way the scoring works is, teams with individual studs kind of benefit more rather than having the most complete team. I think Old Japan, unfortunately, on the guys' side, kind of saw that firsthand as well. And you end up getting a little overshadowed in the group meets by teams that have, the highest end female and male athletes. I think,
right.
I think Haddonfield, Deptford, each scored 30 points plus 35 points with 1 girl, both of them. So I think Haddonfield won with 52, but I'm almost positive somewhere in the neighborhood of 34 to 36 points were scored by 1 girl. So, we had a balanced, effort. We had some things that didn't go our way in the javelin and in the pole vault, but I still think we could have been in the mix had those things gone our way. But I definitely think we're one of the more complete teams going into that meet. So,
what do you got, Bran?
Now that you mentioned the group meet, Brendan, besides the group meet, at the county level, the league level, what were your goals, like Corey had mentioned, and as far as your overall progression, who were some of the unsung kids that helped the team? Obviously, you mentioned Christine Welser, who's one of the best hurdlers, half-milers in the state, along with your throwers. But who are some of the unsung heroes on this year's team that you would like to mention?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've always done, I took over 6 years ago, and one of the things that we try to do is, envision ourselves in a dual meet and a league meet scenario, kind of how we would match up. We really try to fill all of our events, put our girls where we think that they're the strongest, and we just go with it. And we've had some really great success on the league level meets in years past, and I just felt like things really came together. We have a really exceptional sophomore class of individual talent. We have 2 pole vaulters, one's a junior, one's a sophomore, Katie Reverend, Michelle Rudinetti. They were both 9-foot pole vaulters last year, and they're going over 10-6 this year for sophomore, junior. So, when we went to the state sectional meet, they finished 2nd and 3rd, which were 14 points that I did not think that we were really going to get. And when you look at what we ended up winning by, it wasn't much more than that. So, we had, Becca Adams is one of our senior girls, who, kind of falls under the radar a little bit as far as, she's always in the same races as Christina Welser. She doesn't get the recognition she deserves, but she picked up a big 3rd place for us in the state sectional meet. And, in the county meet, we put our freshmen in tough spots where we're not afraid to try people out. And, we've had Georgia Markham, who's a freshman girl for us, running the intermediates and running the 4x8. And finally, our discus girl, Sarraga Ahmed, she's a first-time track girl, practiced that she was throwing 70 feet, and we kind of threw her into a situation in the county meet where we said, hey, listen, we got to score big here. We're going to go with you. And she replaced a 90-footer, and she ended up going 114 feet. And then this past weekend, she went 117 feet. She finished third for us. So as a first-year track girl in the disc, to go, she's a 30-plus foot shot putter already, and 117 in the disc as a junior coming into her first season of track to qualify for the state meet of champs is something that we're really floored about. So we've had a little bit of luck, but we've really dedicated. Our coaches have been amazing, and we really put a lot of time in, and it's nice to see that actually pay off. So.
Makes you look like a great coach when somebody steps in and does that for you, right?
You're really only, and Coach Gregory can attest to this too, you're really only as good as the other coaches on your staff. And, I trust the guys that I work with and the women that we work with to, do the right things and to be dedicated. And, between, Coach Turk and Coach Ives and Coach Kirknell and Coach Walter, I mean, those guys can run teams themselves, and, for them to be part of the staff is really an awesome thing.
How much, we ask this question all the time here on the show because I'm curious about it. How much of your kids, we had Mark Rianis on earlier this season and talking about he wasn't a track guy until, this happened or that happened. What is the percentage of kids, you're at your top level of your teams that come into high school knowing like, hey, I'm going to, bust it in track? You're just talking about this girl who came out of nowhere to fill a huge need for you and make the state meet of champions, which is crazy. And I'm sure, more so, I think more so in track than anywhere else. Can a kid kind of pick it up along the way and become very good at it?
Yeah, I mean, we rarely get kids that show up and, their number one love is track, but we have a lot of kids that leave high school with their number one love being track. And I think Old Japan experiences this a lot as well. And, even though we are rivals, we have a ton of respect for one another. And, we go to meets together and we spend a lot of time together, sometimes more time together than with our own families. And some of the things that we end up seeing is these soccer athletes and these basketball players, and these volleyball players that are very good at the league level for, our schools end up coming out for track and are unbelievable. We have a javelin girl. Her name is Jessie Geller. She's a sophomore. She played basketball freshman year and sophomore year. We love that she plays basketball. There's no javelin in the winter, but I called her family because she didn't sign up for track. I said, I think you'd be pretty good. You should come out. And she's got the number one throw in javelin in all of North Jersey at 135 feet. I certainly didn't predict that she would be that good, but I think it's things like that. I'm not afraid to walk up to people in the hallway and say, hey, I think you should really join us. I think you do well for us. And I'm kind of watching other sports in the winter and fall and to see who's not doing anything in the spring who can help us. And I think that's a huge part of coaching. I think just, going out and kind of beating the bushes a little bit, just kind of going out there and not being afraid to encourage kids to come out. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had Lauren Brzezowski on from Ramapo last week, and she was saying the same thing. I mean, she came in as a soccer player, and she's going out to run Division I track. So
we have quite a few stories, where people end up, being soccer players and end up, going to college to run. I think track is one of those sports where it's so incredibly fair. I mean, you can really gauge your success and failures by your performances rather than, a coach's review of you or your playing time. I mean, it really is one of those sports that gives everybody an advantage going in. So it's one of those sports that I love to coach, and I think that we get a lot of kids that respond well to that. So. Yeah,
stopwatch, don't lie.
That's right.
You can't. You got something else, Brand?
Yeah, Brendan. Now that you speak about your coaching staff, Turk, and the rest of your staff, and I've mentioned this to Corey before, how important it is to have a staff that's pretty much in unison.
Yeah. Although I have to say I'm a little disappointed here. I bring on a Norseman. I have a Golden Knight, and it's all this lovey-dovey kumbaya stuff. I mean, there's no friction
I'm sure
at all.
Coach Gregory can tell you. We had it out last year at the old Japan Demarest.
Right here.
When it's time for the lights go on, Brendan and our light bulbs do go on. But right now, it's no need. So we've had our share, but everything has been good. But like I was saying, Brendan, earlier, with your coaching staff, year in and year out, with the continuity of Turkov and the rest of the crew, I noticed that you always have some of the best throwers in the state, within the county, working your way through the state. Why do you think there's been such consistency in that, in those particular events, Coach?
I think first of all, I think Turk does a great. I know there are a lot of great coaches in the state. I think Turk just has an ability to make you want to compete for him and to make you want to improve. We have 7 freshman girls that were all over 70 feet in the discus, or 6 freshman girls that were all over 70 feet in the discus, which isn't world beater, but to have that many girls that want to be involved, and want to throw and enjoy it, it's a testament to the coaches that are involved. We do, I know what the Pan used to do this as well, but we do our shirt system. And basically we have different color shirts for different levels of performances. So it's a way for coaches to encourage their kids to compete well. So a white shirt would be a freshman level, so that's 70 feet in the discus. And if a freshman girl throws over 70 feet in the disc, she gets a free white shirt that has Demarest track on it. And it's kind of a status symbol in the school, and it's something that we're really proud of. And as those times or performances, become better and better, the shirt color changes. So league level would be a yellow or a gold shirt. County level would be red. State level would be blue. And then national level would be black. So even if you're not competing with somebody on your team, you're always competing against that shirt. And it's something that we really hold true. We don't let, older siblings or younger siblings wear the shirts of somebody that earned it. You got to earn it if you're going to wear it. And, one of the things I think Mike does is he just brings an energy to practice every single day. And it's really contagious. I think he's able to encourage girls to come over to give it a shot, and he's coached some of the best. So we have a rich tradition in throws at Demarest, and Turk continues that each and every year. So
Turk and energy are often used in the same sentence. I will grant you that for sure. Yeah. So, and that's a great thing, that incentive system. That's a good idea. I mean, that could be used in a whole different variety because, again, it's made up of personal bests. So even if you go out there and you don't win, you won against yourself, and that, to me, doing the show, the 2 years with Brandon and the stuff I've learned is, it's so much, there is the team concept and there's all that stuff, but it's so much a competition against yourself, the sport of track and field.
Of course. And those shirt systems work great for your 4th and 5th best athlete that maybe don't get to go to a state meet that, it gives everybody an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to go for something. It's maybe not, a top 3 spot on the team, but it's going to be a status symbol to show, this is how good I am and how good I can be. And, that's something that we're really proud of. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Brandon, anything else?
Yeah, I have one more question, Brandon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Moving down to the state meet, and I'm looking at your team, like you said, Christina. What do you think that she's going to end up running tomorrow on Wednesday down at the state meet of champions? Because I think she probably has one of the better chances of scoring for you. She's been consistent. She's been consistent in both her events, the hurdles and the 800, and obviously with your throwers. Do you think that you can come home with some hardware tomorrow?
I do. We've been trying to. I think she's going to run the hurdles. To answer your question, actually, I know she's going to run the hurdles, and if she's happy with her time, she's not going to run the 8. If she's disappointed with her time, I think she's going to come back and try to rip a fast 800. I think for us with the hurdles, we've just been. She's run, as you know, Coach Gregory. She's run 4 events every meet we've gone to, and this is going to be a special opportunity for her to be able to focus on herself, which is something that she hasn't been able to do in a really long time. And we're really, excited about that. She's going to run the hurdles. We think she can go low 62. I think she's got a shot to break 62 if her steps are on. So we've just been really working this week, real easy, just, really working on the 8th hurdle for her, which we think is going to be the biggest one of her race. So, we'll see. I think she's got a shot to place in the top 6. I think she's seated 10th right now. That's saying that if everybody runs it, maybe 1 or 2 drop. But I think she's in a good spot. I think she can go, 62 low, if she runs a clean race. And if that happens, she's got a shot to medal. So.
Yeah. Well, best of luck. Brandon Kinney, the Northern Valley Demarest head girls track coach over there, and listen, it's been a long season. You've put in a lot of hours, but when you walk off that field tomorrow at South Plainfield High School, the hard work begins with that baby of yours. So
that's right. Yeah, that's right. I got to be home a little more.
Yeah, no doubt. So right. You know, maybe enjoy the last couple. Stick around for the final race of tomorrow night's action, and then you can get back to work.
Yeah, and then the real fun. Then the real fun begins. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, Coach.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining us here on the Track Show. We appreciate it. Congratulations on a great season, and enjoy the last couple days here.
Thank you very much, Coach Gregory. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
All right, buddy.
All right, Brandon. Interesting stuff there with Northern Valley Demarest head coach Brendan Kinney, and also great stuff earlier than that with Aminah Sarraga from Teaneck. I mean, there's not much left to this track and field season on the high school level. You got the state meet of champions coming up a couple hours as we tape this, but good stuff. And we got I'm sure there's going to be a crazy haul of medals back up the turnpike tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, when everybody goes down to South Plainfield, because, you put in all this hard work to sit down and kind of enjoy the meet as a coach and as a coaching staff, to see your athletes compete, because you say, well, all my hard work, let's see where we compete against the best in the state of New Jersey. So hopefully there's a couple state championships coming up our way, including our boys Mark Rianis and potential with our 4x4. And we'll see. That's all you can do. You've done all your training. Now it's time for the athletes to shine, and hopefully they shine bright tomorrow for the North Jersey and more so Old Japan High School.
Yes, absolutely. Spoken like a true Golden Knight, Brand. Good job once again this week, and we will wrap it up next week. We'll try to find some more guests. We'll certainly go over some of the results that happened at the State Meet of Champions, but good stuff this week, and we'll do it again.
Thank you, buddy, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you next week.
It is the highlight of my week in, week out, Brandon. You know that.
That sounds like a plan, Corey.
Follow the leader.